we all have to be aligned. The CEO, the sales leaders, the salespeople, the customer success team, marketing.
Mhm.
That is just really my message every day, all day. How are we all showing up to the customer? How are we meeting them where they are? And how are we delighting them?
Hey, fellow humans, welcome to the Virtual Presentation Skills Podcast. This is the show where smart leadership strategies meet brain science with a dash of humor. You know me, I can't help but inserting a fun giggle here and there, and usually I'm making fun of myself. I'm Kimberly Gilbert, your host. You are not going to believe who we have with us today. If you know me, you may know her because I'm a big supporter of Alice Heiman. Alice is the Chief Sales Energizer. Love that title, Alice. And she is internationally known for her expertise in elevating sales to increase valuation for companies with a B2B sale that have exceptional growth potential. I have known Alice for so many years, and Alice has been a mentor, a friend. She gives so much support, and I think that's really part of the story today. We're both female CEOs. I've only been a CEO for about 4 years. Alice has stepped into that role for many, many, many years, and she has a journey to share with you about virtual leadership. Alice, what else would you like our listeners, who are in 75 countries, by the way, to know about you?
Well, hello, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here with my friend, Kimberly. We do go back a ways and we do have a lot of fun together. Yes, hello to everyone everywhere in the world. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, right? So that's part of being virtual. You're working with people everywhere and you have to know that, right? So just a little bit about me. I've been doing this a long, long time, dare I say 30 years. So I've seen a lot. And I think that the wisdom that I've gained on being a leader is helpful, to share. I was a virtual leader though, Kimberly, before COVID and way before people were doing that, because I was in a situation where I had a young child and I worked out of my home. But of course, back then in the 90s, you couldn't let anybody know that, right? They could never know. I mean, I had a fax machine in my office that would go off at like 5 o'clock in the morning and you could hear it, right? And it's because people didn't know. They thought they were faxing in office, right? Nowadays, people are like, oh, she's on Pacific time, so don't bother her before whatever time. But back then, no one knew that I did not have a real office. And so it was really interesting. Most of the time we were on the phone, but even in the 90s and then early 2000s, we were using, WebEx and other tools to communicate like this, because the teams that I worked with their salespeople were out in the field all over the world, and we needed to be able to share things with them and talk to them. So I've been doing this a really long time. So when COVID came, I was the one teaching all of my friends how to do
How to show up in the virtual world. Well, I think I worked for WebEx for
Yes.
almost 3 years and went through the WebEx Cisco IPO. And so I too have been teaching in this world, and this has been my main focus, the virtual world, for more than, I want to say, 25 years now. So I appreciate those of you that have worked in this industry for so long. You recognize the value of the Virtual Presentation Skills podcast, the virtual office audit, the group virtual office audit. If you haven't booked a group virtual office audit yet, please join us at virtualofficeaudit.com. 30 minutes, 7 steps, and you will learn the key elements for a foundational journey towards success in the virtual world. Whether you're going to be a virtual leader or you are just starting in the virtual world, we have a product and a service to serve you. Alice, you've actually been through a
I
one-on-one
have.
advanced virtual office audit.
And I was just thinking, it's been a while, so you should probably give me a little critique because things have changed,
Uh, well, so today you can see my my background is very plain. I have a plant. That's really all you need in a virtual office, but we can start building virtual offices. Like Alice has bookcases. She has a particular paint color on the wall that is probably soothing to her. Me personally, I would remove some of the books from the bookcases and I would just start to declutter the background a little bit because my brain goes right to, ooh, what kind of books is
It
Alice
is a
reading?
very busy background, and people do like it's good and it's bad, right? People see it and they're like, "Oh, she really likes books," right? Which is something to talk about, right? Because,
Yeah.
it gives people something to know about you, right?
Right.
But then I also think, wow, that's pretty busy. People might be looking around. And I do think the people I meet with every single day, like I meet with different clients on different days and repeatedly, they're probably used to the background now. But
Hmm.
if I were to do a webinar or something where there's going to be a lot of people who
Right.
don't look at it all the time, I would
Mhm.
definitely consider that I need to make some changes because I think it would be too distracting.
Right, right. Yes. If you are going to host a webinar, a masterclass, a boot camp, whatever the case may be, just find us. I'm Kimberly Gilbert on LinkedIn, and we can walk you through
Yeah.
all of the details for enhancing the 2D version of the 3D you. Unlike Alice, because she has been working in this industry for a very long time and she's gone through my coaching, she knows what to look for camera angle, lighting. You can see she's dressed in a beautiful, very flattering color today, and that is very much on purpose. Alice, you probably weren't dressed quite like this a few years ago, were you?
Well, it's an interesting thing. So I have been on camera for a long time in my career because of what I do. But um, and I had some coaching before I even met you from someone who was on TV. And
Mm,
she taught me don't wear anything that would buzz or hum, don't wear white. So I've known for a long time what to wear on camera so that it's not distracting, but it also makes your skin tone look good and your eyes pop and
right.
things like that. So I actually have a wardrobe that is specific to doing, you know, programs online, right? And
Mhm.
in every single day when I work, I'm on camera all day long on Zoom meetings with people. I'm not as picky about it, but I still always make sure from here up, right? I have something interesting. And I do wear white occasionally, but I never wear anything that would buzz or hum on screen. So I don't want people to be, getting vertigo from looking at me or anything like that. So I think it is important for your daily wear if you're on camera all day long to think about it. But I when I dial in with some of these teams, they're just wearing their t-shirts and whatever, and that's fine because it's like being in person, right? In that regard. But since I am their consultant, I usually take it up a notch.
Right.
But when I'm
Mhm.
podcasting or when I'm actually doing a webinar where I might be entertaining people that I don't know as well, then I'm very particular about what I wear to make sure that I am not distracting, but that I look good, my eyes pop, and that people will focus on me.
Yes, good. Well, it was interesting. I was coaching somebody last week and we were changing my background, which I love to break it in person live and then fix it live. And she said, what's interesting is when I'm in my other office, which also has bookshelves, they're not quite as busy as what I see in your background because I've taken the time to
Yeah.
clean them up. But she said, Kimberly, when you move to the upstairs office, which is just this plain background and a plant, all I have to focus on is you.
Yes.
Well, guess what happens? Your engagement rates go up. And I teach sales teams all the time how to hit their missed quota. For example, I'm brought into sales teams who will say, we're not hitting our quotas. Our virtual teams are not selling the way that they should be. The close rates are low, et cetera. I often see teams that have engagement rates in their virtual meetings that are about 15%. And when they are done with our training programs, they leave at about 95%. So, Alice, can you talk a little bit about your passion, which is sales for CEOs, correct?
Yeah. So, I mean, my podcast is called Sales Talk for CEOs, and kind of my tagline is, what do CEOs need to know about sales? And the reason I started focusing on CEOs, because I didn't always, but it's because it doesn't seem to matter what we teach the salespeople or the leaders if the CEO isn't on board with that and understanding what needs to happen. Plus, the CEO is
Oh,
the role model, right? So if you're telling your salespeople, look, on video, we look like this, our backgrounds are this, we dress this way, we have this presence at this company when we are online, but then you don't do it yourself. What kind of message is that, right? So the CEO has to be bought in, even with the way we approach our customers and how we talk to them and how we interface with them, how we meet them where they are. The CEO has to be on board with that because, for example, if at your company the CEO is saying, "Oh no, we're not going to use video," or "You don't have to turn your camera on," or any of those things, and the salespeople are like, "Okay," we know they're going to lose customers. We
big
absolutely
mistake.
100% know that it's a big mistake. Now, no
Yeah.
CEO would say that, but I'm just saying they do
Oh,
some.
yes, they do because I
Well,
work with some of them.
I have a CEO who never ever will turn on his camera ever when we're
Why?
online.
Why?
Yeah, he
D-
just hates it so much. And I'm like, but I think it's because, people feel self-conscious and uncomfortable. But when you're at a meeting in person, you have to sit up straight and look at the other person. So
Yes,
how is
thank
it so
you.
different? You dress nicely, you shake hands, you sit there, you sit up straight, you take notes, and you look at the other person. Why on camera should it be any different? You dress appropriately, you
Mhm,
have your notes
mhm,
ready. It's okay to
mhm.
look down and take a note here and there,
Right.
just like you would in person. But then the rest of the time, when they're talking, you're looking at them, just like I'm looking at you. And then if you look down occasionally, take a note, there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that people get a little too sloppy or lax with video, and
Mhm,
it
mhm.
just really is hurting them. Like you said, you're running into these sales teams who are not closing deals because they can't engage on camera
Right,
properly.
right,
And we have to teach them that just as if you were in person, dress up and show up, right?
right,
And
right.
and make it look professional. Your
Yes,
background should be
yes.
professional. Your bed, by the way, should not be in the background. It drives me nuts. Well, if you're in a hotel
Alice,
room, it's kind of
can I just
hard,
have a
but
little sugar punch from you right
yes.
there? Can we just, oh
I
my
mean,
goodness.
unbelievable. So your bedroom is your office. Okay, why don't you turn your desk
Right,
around
right.
and sit with your back to the wall and put a nice picture back there,
Yes.
not your bed. Just turn your desk around. It's not that hard, right? But
You sound like me.
it drives me nuts. Sometimes when you're in a hotel room, it's hard to get an angle that doesn't show the bed.
Right,
Got it. But then make the bed.
right,
I mean,
right.
oh my goodness. So, yes, salespeople need to show up properly. Their leaders need to show up properly. Their CEO needs to show up properly. And then with every touch of the customer, we all have to be aligned. The CEO, the sales leaders, the salespeople, the customer success team, marketing.
Mhm.
That is just really my message every day, all day. How are we all showing up to the customer? How are we meeting them where they are? And how are we
Mhm.
delighting them? We're certainly not delighting them when we don't turn our camera on. We're
Well, and it's,
certainly not delighting them when we're a mess, you know?
right, right. Yes, exactly. So tell me about the virtual piece and what percentage of time you spend with clients virtually now, because I know your business was mainly in person for a long, long time. But so what percentage of time are you spending with virtual leaders and probably having some of the same conversations that we're having right now?
Well, I would say most of my time. It's kind of hard to like say a percent, but on
Mm,
a weekly basis, I'm in my office where I am right now, sometimes sitting, sometimes standing, and I am on 4 to 8 meetings per day that are video meetings. Now,
mm,
occasionally with my CEOs, I've been telling them, just call my cell phone. I don't need to see you today. We're just going
right,
to talk. But when you have to share documents and stuff, it's really great to be on on camera and on Zoom and having those abilities
right.
to share. But so most of the day, yeah, I'm on camera just like this, talking to my clients, solving problems with them, strategizing, setting up new processes, And that would be 4 to 8 meetings a day, right? So that's all day, every day. But then there are
Wow.
weeks where I'm out in the field and I
Hmm.
will be out at a conference. So I won't be on video at all. I might be on camera with people taking pictures or videos, but I'm live with humans. And it might be for a week and like 2 or 3 days at the conference, and then 2 or 3 days in office with my clients. Cause I do still travel to my clients and go in their office and hang out with them and sit in their conference room. So it's
Love
really fun
that.
when I get to do that. And I'd say there's probably like, 5 to 8 days out of the month when I'm live in person with
Mhm.
humans. And the rest of the time, my daily schedule is, like I said, 4 to 8 video meetings a day
Mm.
with a few phone calls peppered in, working with my clients, helping them strategize and increase their sales.
So, out of the 4 to 8 per day, how many people do you meet with? You feel have virtual offices that are appropriately
Yeah.
designed for the 2D world.
So most of them now do, right? Because I have, given them the instruction to do it. This When I meet with the CEOs, I will say they're probably the worst. They're just wherever they happen to be and they turn their camera on. And they haven't really thought about any of that. Now, when they get on with a client, it's a good question. I really should ask them when they're on video with a client, what background are they using? And I will
Right.
start doing that. Now, for the sales leaders, it's kind of about the same. But for the salespeople, I've they're all set up now. Like when they're in frame, their face is the right size compared to the rest of the screen. They have a nice background, and yes, so they're looking good. They have that down pretty well. Now, could it be improved by Kimberly? I'm sure it could, but at least they know how to get their head in the frame and not have too much going on in their background.
Yes, yes. Well, at least that's the basics. And where we really shine is elevating you to the next level.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that many, many, many humans, thousands and thousands around the globe, are still mired in how they feel in their 3D world. And they don't give much mindfulness to show up in their 2D selves. Those of you that are working with Alice are absolutely blessed because she has this knowledge and she can help you in the normal course of action. But imagine if you don't have an Alice Heiman. Imagine that. You probably need to fix your camera angle. I still see, I don't know, Alice, I'm just going to show this real time because I like to break it real time. But just they put
People looking up your nose. Yeah.
Oh, and it's, end the nose madness here. That's my favorite hashtag. I'm pretty sure at least one of them. It's so easy just to elevate your computer. I actually have medical books from one of my kids who doesn't need her medical books anymore. And I just stack the computer and then play with the camera a little bit. It's really, really simple, but you'd be so surprised at how quickly your engagement rates rise. And I know
Mhm.
Alice speaks the same language and she says she uses some of the same talk tracks, which I think is absolutely amazing. So, Alice, how can our listeners learn a little bit more about you and how to find you? Your service, you have been in business for how many years?
Yeah, at least 30. We'll just leave
Oh
it at
my
that.
gosh.
I
I mean,
look pretty
honestly,
good for
it's
108 years old, don't I?
I mean, it's honestly rare to find businesses that survive more than 5. I've been in business now for 22, you 30, and I had 2 failed businesses before this company, which are always fun stories, but you have some sort of secret to longevity I think people need to know. And maybe if you could share a couple of pearls of wisdom with our listeners, and then how people find you. If you are listening, first of all, you need to start listening to the podcast, the Sales Talk for CEOs. I actually started listening about a year ago, and I honestly haven't listened to many episodes because I listen to my own podcast and critique myself before I listen to others. But you've got some major guests on your show. which is fantastic. You're such a great interviewer. And there's always this, you have this energy that is just contagious. So, talk to us a little bit about those two things.
Yeah, I firmly believe that you need to love what you do, right? And I could love a lot of things. This is not my first career, even though I've
Mhm.
been in it 30 years. I was a public school teacher before that. I worked for my dad's company, Miller Heiman, and did sales training. And then I became a consultant in the business that I'm in now. And even that has changed over the years. But you've got to love what you do. So if you don't, it shows, you know?
Mhm.
And so I think people say things about me like I am energizing, I'm fun, they like working with me because I love what I do and it comes through.
Mm.
The other big thing is you have to care. If you don't care about the people you serve, like what's the point here? And I think a lot of
Mhm.
salespeople are in sales jobs where they don't really love the product, they don't really love what they do. Maybe the company doesn't treat them that great, whatever, and they're trying to serve customers. That has got to come through, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So, I mean, I'm not saying go quit your job. I'm just saying think about what you're doing. Like, do you care about the people you serve and does that come through?
Right.
Do you love what you do every day? And you can love what you do every day. You may have to change your mindset a little bit, but part of what makes me love what I do every day is the humans that I get to work with. And that caring, between those humans is part of what makes me love it. Like, I get to help business owners crush it, right? Like, I get to help them increase their sales. I get to help them make their world better.
Money, money, money,
I
money.
mean, what could be more fun than that? Like,
Right.
the US depends on these small businesses. They are the major portion of businesses in the US and in the world today, these smaller businesses under $100 million. I work specifically with tech CEOs who have a business to business complex sale, but these companies are important. They're growing, they're hiring people when others are laying off, they're inventing new things. So, oh my gosh, I get to serve that population. That's how I feel. How lucky am I, right?
Mhm.
So, that passion for what I do and that caring, I think is the longevity, right? And of course, I'm always learning. Like, you cannot stay in business if you are not agile and learning all the time. Things are changing now, especially with AI, so fast. You've got to be a learner and you have to be agile, right? So I think those are some things definitely that will help you survive a longer time, right? Really care about the impact that you're making. And as a CEO, absolutely. If you have a vision and you care about the people you are serving, that goes a long way and it's sustainable. Yes, you still have to sell something. And if you're having trouble with that, that's when you call me.
What do you mean? What do you mean we actually have to make money as
You
business
have to
owners?
sell something. That is correct, right? Your salespeople, whoever's doing the selling, get out there and sell, right? Go sell something. So, yes. Anyway, and then how do you find me? Well, I'm on LinkedIn and I try to dish up a lot of great content. Lately, I've been dishing up more content that is more personal as well, but relating to business, and it seems to have impacted my following, which is great.
Mm,
Uh, more people following, more people engaging.
right.
And you can find me at my website, which is aliceheiman.com, or at salestalkforceos.com, which is my podcast.
Alice, can you spell your last name? I remember when I first met you, I was thinking, gosh, now how does she spell that? Maybe just spell that for our
Yeah.
listeners. So
It's
Alice, the
H, yeah,
traditional spelling, Alice.
yes. And then Hyman, Heiman.
Man. Okay. Okay, great. Well, I just want to say one of the details about female leaders just lately for me that interests me is what else they do. These titles are big and these careers are big and it's 60, 70, 80, 90 hours per week. I worked 90 hours every single week all through the month of November. So I know. But what else? What else is there to a female CEO at your level that is personal? Would you be willing to share anything else, maybe a hobby or something else that we can connect to you?
There's so much really. And I think part of issue today is that we're still not talking about it, right? We as female leaders get on LinkedIn, get on calls, get, wherever we are, and we're talking about business,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Now, interestingly enough, it started to change. People will talk about their kids, right? And talk about other things. And so for me, the other things in my life that are really driving me are my grandkids. Love, love, love spending time with grandkids. I have a huge spread. I have my oldest grandchild is 26, my youngest one is a year old. So I get like this whole world of grandkids, and I've got another one on the
Oh,
way in March. So that's very
oh.
exciting for me. And that drives me. It also drives the way I am now currently driving revenue and the pivot that I'm making in my own business because I want more time to spend with my grandkids, but I don't
Mm.
want to give up anything about my business. I want to make it better. I want
Mhm.
to make even more money, but I want to make it somehow in less time so that that extra time goes to my grandkids, right? So I think that's super important. I also feel like women do not get outside and move their bodies enough. And you and I have talked about this before. And as younger females leaders as well, we are busy with our young kids, our household. Sometimes in my case, we have elderly parents to take care of as well. And so we will put off going to the gym or not take that walk today because we have to run and get the kids or something else is going on. And we have to be more like the guys. The guys don't miss their time at the gym no matter what. They tell you go pick up the kids because they have to go to the gym. Nope. We got to switch that. And so for me, it's getting outside every day, walking, going skiing in the winter, going sailing in the summer.
Mm.
Um,
Wow.
I've made my business so I can work from anywhere in the world now so that we can travel when we want to travel. And I think
Right.
as you grow your business, you really need that vision in mind of what you want your life to be like and
Mm.
make your business suit that, right? Even if you're high powered, VC backed, scaling, that's all great. You can still take care of yourself and fit in the things that you love. And honestly, you must, or you will be burnt out.
Oh, yes. Well, see, the title CEO, the role of CEO, from what I know to be true, is a 5-year burnout rate. Now, maybe that's a corporate CEO for, I don't know, a Fortune 100 company.
Oh
I'm not
no,
sure where
that
I saw
counts
that.
for small companies too.
Oh, it does. Okay. So I'm coming up on 5 years. I'm still here and I absolutely love what I do and love that we make a difference. So I hope that I'm not going to move into that burnout phase. But if you could give one specific pivot that you made or you are making to set your business up for success, like you said, so you can work from anywhere. What is that one thing you changed that could help some of our listeners make that change as well for their own businesses?
Yeah, what you have to change is your mindset. That's it, period. It's
Oh,
nothing else. Because
okay.
if you believe that the only way to get ahead is to work harder and work more hours, that's what
Mm,
you'll do.
okay.
If you believe that you can run your company better and more efficiently when you get out and get exercise, when you design around yourself, right?
Right.
That's when you can make these pivots, right? So it's a lot of pressure when you have VC or PE money. It's a lot of pressure when you have a lot of employees and you're scaling quickly and hiring people and firing people. It's a lot of pressure. But
Hmm.
we're so much more efficient when we don't multitask, pick one thing and do it at a time,
Hmm.
and when we give ourselves breaks and when we exercise to fuel our body so we work more efficiently, you get more done in less time. It's just that we don't believe that. And we just think, well, there's so much to do. I just have to keep working. No, go to bed, get some
Right.
rest, get some
Right.
exercise, take care of yourself. It's your own mindset that's holding you back from driving revenue in a way that would feel so great and not be exhausting.
Wow, I love that. I'm thinking in my mind, I might just have you back on the show later in the year in the presentation fitness pillar.
Yes, that
I
would be
mean,
great.
oh my gosh. Wow. I can't get enough of you. I wish that you were my neighbor and I could spend time with you every other day. I would probably become very annoying, but your leadership is so important to the world and what you bring to the table is something I'm so glad you're willing to share. And I know you're very, very busy and you've got a lot of clients to take care of and a lot of other things going on. So I am absolutely grateful for your time and everything you have shared with our listeners. Alice, would you like to say anything in closing before we wrap up the show?
I think that you asked me earlier about a pivot that I'm making, and I am making a pivot right at this very moment as we speak. I work with tech CEOs, but now I'm pivoting to add a component specifically for female tech CEOs.
Hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean I'll exclude anyone. It
Right.
just means that I want to have a program that's specifically focused on female tech CEOs because I want them to be able to drive revenue in a more easy fashion, like we've just been talking about. Like it shouldn't break them, right? And
Right.
I know too many of them feel like they have been broken, and some of them are just pushing through, and it's so hard. So I really am turning my attention to that, and I think that when you're making a pivot, you don't have to pivot completely away from everything that you've been doing, but you can make a pivot that puts a focus on something
Mhm.
and really can make a difference and make a higher impact. And that's what I'm doing now.
Well, you heard it here live with Alice Heiman and the pivot, not exclusion, but pivot toward female CEOs. And Alice, I love that. I know you are going to rock this specialized niche. I can think of probably 10 of us that need everything you teach right now. So, this brings us to the end of the show. Again, our VIP guest, Alice Heiman. And this is a wrap, folks. I can't wait to meet you online in the next episode where we go live from the waist up.